Hi, I'm Jeremy, and it is beautiful outside today, but I'm under the house, and it's not so beautiful under there. Now that the bottom of the house is very well sealed and insulated, and I'm putting insulation, more insulation on a day like today, it's quite hot under there, surprisingly, and I would prefer not to wear this overcoat, but I only have so many different articles that would cover up my poor fragile body so I don't get fiberglass all over and itch for days. As it is, my gloves and my coat mostly protect me from that. Just a quick hand wash and I'm good, but we're almost done down here, so it'll be good to get this finished. Oh, I forgot. Welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards. So we are getting real close to done with insulation. This part of the crawl, minus the side, is done, and we are starting in on the second section. This first section is about 16 feet, not quite 17 feet. And this second section I am starting in is 8, 9, 10 feet, somewhere in there. I think it's about 8 foot to 8 foot to board, so about 9 foot total for the insulation. I won't know till I start putting up some on this side. And the reason I do one whole run minus where I've got to stuff it in around these ducts is so that I can strap, and that they're staying just fine, but it makes sense to me to go ahead and run my strap runs. Whenever the board is a nice board and accepts the staples on this gun just fine, that's what we end up doing. You can see they went in pretty well. I just do 3 or 4, and whenever it's not a nice board and it's harder, then I just smash those down. I may come back and throw a fathead little roofing nail in all of these. I don't know that I need to. They should be pretty strong without. They're not holding a lot of weight, they're just keeping it in place more or less, but you do want to get these nice and tight along that run both ways. And I'm putting them about every foot or thereabouts. The outside is held because it's tucked up into the board there. I'm calling that a hold point, and don't feel like I need to put anything there. So we've got a ways yet to go, but as we go up higher, while it becomes harder, not easier, this is the easiest it's going to get. It's right above my head, and that's kind of a great place for it to be working. Down there, I had to have ladder. Up here, I will be crouching, and way up in there, I'm going to be on my back or kneeling, and that one's going to be the least fun for obvious reasons. This is also my last chance to get things like this up in here, where we've got our shower. Probably not a great idea, really. Hopefully that will just keep pests out of the house a little bit better. And I already did the toilet on this set, so. I do have one more thing over here as well, and that's just one last board of this upper row here, heading down that way to finish out this slanted cathedral style ceiling on this interior part. And we'll probably be ordering drywall within the week. Can you hear that? It's frog season. Well, it's a bright and beautiful morning. We're having our first, I guess, sunny week of spring weather. It's supposed to be transitioning out of La Nina into El Nino, and I guess that's going to mean a dry summer again, which is unfortunate, but we're going up into the attic. I'm cleaning, which I'm very excited about because it's filthy up there. All the fiberglass dust and stone wool, mineral wool dust is horrendous, so I'm going to very effectively wear this over my beard, but better than nothing, and I'm not quite ready to part with it yet. Sounds like Casey's work is continuing to do overtime for a couple more weeks, and that's good. That's great. It definitely is needed and appreciated in this circumstance. I'd rather she not have to, but we had some, just everything piles on at the same time, right? So in addition to all the expenses we still have on the house. And we're just taking it step by step, doing odd jobs and all sorts of things to get it, you know, across the finish line to where we can get this signed off. And then some of the finish work is going to be at our leisure. All right, so that's all kind of nasty. Apparently I need a haircut too. Look at that. Past time. Let me show you what we're finishing up here and what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So we're all done up here. I have, well, 99.9%. A few spots, you know, there's a teeny piece of insulation there that it looks like I need to stuff a little extra in that row. I have this hatch that's going to need filled. I have the piece cut for it, but stuff like this and all the little scraps that are downstairs, if I don't use it for something else, I'm just going to take it up there and throw it in there, stuff like that. And you saw me actually use some trays of trash off the ground. There's no reason to put that in the landfill. It's just not. So I've got a spot for it. And while R49, you're going to see a real diminishing value after R49, anything you throw on top. You know, it's better than throwing it away. It's better than garbaging it. So the only things I did throw away in that garbage bag were stuff that had been water damaged, and I was concerned about mold or something else getting in there. So, you know, that's why that went in the trash. And it's sure nice to be up here. And like when I was looking under these lights the last however many weeks, the particulate was so thick that I could see it in the camera, and the camera doesn't pick that up too well. And I'll see if there's any right now. I don't see hardly more than a dot. All right, I'm out of insulation for this type. There's a reason for that, but we're all done entirely in that row. I have, except for stuffing around my HVAC ducting in this row as well as that one. I only have a little bit of that to do, basically just a little bit right there. A couple of spots in the middle where some of these batts, they weren't 4 feet. They were 3.5 or 3'10" or 3'9" or whatever. And so I've got a couple of spots I got to patch in a little bit. You can see like there's a gap right there between batts in the middle on some of these. So I'll have to fix that. But otherwise, this run's all done. That run's all done. Minus strapping. I did run out of the black strap. I think I might have one more, but battery's got to recharge on my stapler. So I think what I have left down here is 11 batts per bag at 4 feet. Means I've got 5 more bags. Not even. And if I do 5 more bags, I can either wait and have it all white, or I can go to the other store, local, that I'm aware of anyway. I'm not a insulation contractor, and get some pink stuff. And the for whatever reason, they just don't have any 16 craft faced at the local Lowe's. So I'm not waiting until the 2nd for it. I'd like to get this done this week. So we're going to stop by the other one. As much as I dislike stopping by that particular local store, and get what we need for the ones I already mentioned, and then all along this edge here. That whole edge also is going to need finished out. And so it's going to look a little funny, but I ain't living down in this part of the house, so I don't care. Once those bits and pieces are done, I have one more thing I have to do for this insulation. And that is these ducts are R8 insulated as required. R6 won't work. However, they must also be buried. And by that, I mean I have to take R19 or greater insulation and lap and cover all of this. So one of the things they want to see now is they want to make sure that you've got insulation covering your ducts. They call it deeply buried, and that can be in between the insulation in here, like what I'm seeing up in here, or it can be below the run if it's too big to fit, like you can see back here if it's going across. And you just have to wrap it. So it's got an R8 on it already. All the ducts in the crawl have to have an R8, not an R6. And we're adding R19 underneath here. So I'll just use up some of that R21, get this all wrapped, and then we're done down in the crawl. And all we have left at that point, really, that we have to do is, excuse me, a little bit of electrical for the final, and then it's cleanup. So that'll be nice to be out of here for quite some time. We won't bother doing this electrical until the rest of the house is pretty much done, and we're just looking to have final approval. So it's some good progress. Good progress.
Where it creates a little bit more of a gap. So this is a super thin piece.
Then you can stuff more underneath it if you need to. So Casey is going around and using up scraps, and essentially what we're doing is we're trying to get as much without compression, as much around those flex ducts as we can. And she brought down a bag of scraps from up top and the rest of the house, because we had lots of little bits and pieces, you know, things to cut out around. And she's almost got this section all stuffed, it looks like. And this one is pretty much strapped. So once she's got that done, it's ready for putting, you know, the R19 or R21 around all these ducts down here. And I have been working way up back in there, putting up some of this pink, not white. That's what I could get. Insulation, and it's very different. It's a different style. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's so different, but it's soft compared to the other one. It doesn't want to stay quite as well. I think they're the exact same measurements. Maybe this one says it's 16 wide. I think it's actually technically 15 or 15.5, but I think the other one was too. So I don't know, but it definitely wants to fall a lot more, but it's easier to puff out. In fact, that one did it all on its own. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but we'll get that up there done. Hopefully it stays until I can get it strapped. And then we're definitely not going to get this 100%, but maybe 95%. And I can come back, finish strapping, and put on the R21, R19, and maybe just one more good day down here after this. That would sure be nice. Because it is disgusting down here. I am disgusting and it is disgusting. And yes. The shirt stinks too. Well, kids are back soon, and not that that means I have to stop, but I'm gonna stop. Eating that insulation all day is less than ideal. And Casey and I are gonna go have dinner with parents, so I gotta get cleaned up a little bit first.
Poor sad thing.
What is the wreath for this time of year? Easter?
Yeah.
Easter wreath. We could put up an insulation wreath. Well, my lovely assistant is here and braving this nasty dust. And we're getting some ceilings done in advance of drywall while we're waiting for inspection. And this is supposed to be 3.5 inches, probably more like 3, maybe 2 3/4. That's fine. This is a mineral wool, unlike the fiberglass. And I'm wearing a mask. It's mostly protecting my face with everything else going on. However, I can't see, and my beard is sweating onto my jacket, so very exciting experience. So with this stuff, you gotta kind of get it up over your wire, which thank goodness the wire's not in the way. You don't have to do a whole bunch of braking, but once you have it roughly where it is, it's a good friction fit, even without, just gotta make sure it's in the right spot. There we go. And then you want the middle to go up first, otherwise it wants to sag and hang down. And so I'll push up the sides after I've got the middle up, and that's what seems to do best for this stuff. Hold it up and in position. And this is not for our value. This stuff is for sound reduction, acoustic benefit. Ooh, that storms coming. And for fire, slowing fire if fire were to be trying to move from one spot to another, mostly for sound, but the fire benefit. And the idea isn't it's going to prevent your house from burning down. The idea is that it'll give you enough time to get your family out. Same as fire blocking.
In every house we've ever lived in, we've wished for wall outlets, so probably a good thing just to keep it.
I agree. Making some good progress with this nasty mineral. Well, it's not that this mineral is the problem, because that stuff was pretty gross too. It's the lack of facing. But once you get it up into location, it's not going to bother us until I put the drywall on it. Hopefully not too much then. We are, I don't know, toxic waste workers, I guess. But second floor is just about done with this. We have a couple spots we can't do until later because we need to have the walls open for drywall to go up to the top, 12-foot long drywall. And other than that, we're getting real close. Thanks for building with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.